Science literacy is the ability of person to process scientific information to solve problems and produce useful scientific product. That means student was hope to have ability on problem solving skill and also can relate the basic concept of physics with natural phenomena in daily life. Based on the PISA by OECD program, the student scientific literacy in Indonesia is still low. The reason of the student science literacy still low is student learning has not fully facilitated the development of scientific literacy skill optimally. The second, still focus on the cognitive aspect compared to thinking skill. The third is still low on the process abilities in obtaining scientific knowledge. So this condition makes the student is less to understand on the natural phenomena such as landslide disaster. Semarang city, based on the topographical condition, is consists of a narrow land area and a hilly area that extend from the west to the east side. This condition caused some places in the Semarang city to areas prone to landslide, especially during the rainy season. As we know, the landslide phenomena can be discussed using physics concept, which is part of the science. Learning process that correlate material with natural phenomena, which make learning is more interesting, memorable, and meaningful to students. So the purpose of this study is to describe the student science literacy on landslide disaster mitigation in Semarang city. For the methodology, we use quantitative description, one-shot case study. For the sampling technique, we use purposive sampling. The sample is the 10th grade, a student of SMA Negeri 7 Semarang. Collecting data, we use test, questionnaire, interview. For the analysis, we convert the score to the percentage score using this formula, and then we compare the score to the criteria by Purwanto. Result and discussion. Here we can see the knowledge, competency, and attitude aspect of science literacy of the student is still low. The law of the scientific literacy on the knowledge aspect due to the science learning process carried out still use the teacher-centered approach, where teacher is not used to emphasizing competence and focus on the mastering concept. This also support by interview data. We can see in the learning process, students still learning on the ability to use mathematical calculation according to formula given by teacher, not yet use question based on the science literacy form. Learning method and media was used also not support by method and media based on the scientific literacy skill. For the second aspect on the literacy, on the science literacy is competency. The low categories of the competency aspect is caused by learning process still use the conventional method and media. Also the lack of the motivation and support on the scientific literacy program, such as from the teacher is not yet familiar to use the method and media which is can support and increase the science literacy, such as use the method can improve student ability on problem solving and also higher order thinking skill. For the media, maybe teacher can create the module based on the scientific approach, not only use the media has general purposes. As example, teacher can make certain module with content suitable with this student condition, such as student has experience with landslide disaster, so teacher can use this phenomena in the learning process. Thus can be said that the development scientific literacy student must do learning based on scientific literacy itself. For the last aspect is attitude aspect. The student attitude aspect has higher score compared to other aspects such as knowledge and competency. However, based on the Purwanto criteria, this aspect still low, mean the attitude of the student on understanding of landslide disaster and how student can do the mitigation of disaster is low. According to Noviana and Julianto, the law of ability of scientific literacy in aspect knowledge have impact on the law application on science in life, which ultimately affect to the attitude of the student. The low attitude of students are influenced by student interest in discussing the phenomenon of the landslide both with the teacher or student themselves. However, based on the interview results, students can explain how the landslide was happened according to physics concepts such as work, energy, and collision. Students which can explain are students which experience on landslide disaster directly or not direct. When the student has direct experience, then the student looking for the more information, and for the student not have direct experience, they are said know the landslide from the social media and also from the web. Based on the questionnaire, also student has planting program which is one of the activity can prevent landslide disaster. The conclusion of the study are student science literacy in landslide disaster mitigation activities is still low. The second, the one of the factor can increase the student science literacy on landslide disaster mitigation is experience of student on landslide disaster while direct or direct experience. Thank you.